Ready?
Okay. Now I'm going to show you something useful for chromatics. Okay. This is a target approach exercise that you can use for arpeggios. Okay. So let's just take a major arpeggio, for instance. Okay. Okay. Very simple. I call this type 1 arpeggio because it's one note in the first rate. Now you'll hear this in jazz and they call it like upper neighbor, lower neighbor, or something like that. Okay. I was told it's a target approach technique. That's what was taught to me. I don't know what the other guys are sharing this. Basically, what you do in the rule is a diatonic above and a chromatic below. Meaning, if I'm playing this as a major scale, okay, I see my pattern within it. For every single note, I'm going to play a chromatic below and a diatonic, a scale pitch above, and get to that note. Okay, here's my next note. I need a chromatic below, a diatonic above. Okay, next note, I need a chromatic below and a diatonic above. Okay. And then you have this like really cool jazzy kind of sound when you play it fast. Do it slow, so it sounds kind of cool. Okay, you can play any pattern, any way around. Different types of turns around. Okay, up, back, forward, inside out. Doesn't make a difference. The idea is that you keep it symmetrical. Okay, so it's been a long time since I did this, so it's in my memory somewhere. I really don't use this stuff. But that's a really good way of trying to pull out chromatics. Okay, in the end of the day, you're just playing a seventh. Okay, you're playing the relative seventh of each pitch. You follow me? Guy behind the camera.
Relative seventh.
The seventh of each pitch, each target note. So if every note in the scale is a target pitch, we're going to play the seventh of that pitch. And then a diatonic note, a scale note above coming down. Okay? Put them both together, you have or. Okay? And you'll hear that a lot of like bebop-ish, jazzy, old style kind of stuff. But it's a cool little trick to have, And you can use it in metal sparingly. Okay? Another exercise I was showing you before is inserting diminished chords on non-diatonic tones. Meaning, if there's a note that's not in the scale, non-diatonic, I just slap a diminished arpeggio on top of it. So for a very easy example, we have our sequence of arpeggios in E minor, okay? I'm adding the fifth on the bottom. This is a rotating pitch to make it a little easier to get around. Okay, you should be done with 2 strings also. I just prefer doing it with 3. Now, for every note that's not in the scale, we just add a diminished scale, a diminished arpeggio. Okay, I'm going to skip the first one because we're in minor. So just for reference sake, okay? Major. Now this note is not in the scale, so I'm just going to play diminished. Okay, hit full speed. And there you go. And then you have like this cool little chromatic thing that happens. It's basically allows you to pull notes that don't belong and get you outside kind of sound. So in the middle of a solo, I want to find the seventh of a pitch I'm going to, okay, or the fifth of a pitch I'm going to, okay, which is subdominant harmony. This is like advanced theory that only like music goons and geeks really tend to get into. So if you're not a music geek or a goon, don't even bother with this. You know what I mean? But for instance, if I'm playing, say, something in B minor. I mean, what I just did is like, it's called tonicization. So I'm borrowing a note. I'm not modulating. Modulation is when I actually change keys and change scales. So if I went from, say, E minor and then went to B minor completely and then went to another key, it's modulation. Tonicization is when I steal or borrow one or two notes from a different key, but I didn't change the actual key. Okay? You can fool the listener into thinking you're in a totally different key. They'll think you're wherever, and in reality, you never left. You never went anywhere. Okay? So that's where this exercise, these two exercises will actually help you get to. So that you get, again, the outside sound. Cool?